Right guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. Today we've got Sam in the chair. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, man. I'm
that's
good. So what are we doing? What's the plan?
So yeah, my hair, as you can see, is a bit of a mess. I've been growing it out for about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
It's gone crazy. However, yeah, so that was like the last time I got a proper haircut. But about a month ago, back in Australia, it was like super hot. I got home one night after work and I kind of like had to go at it myself.
Okay.
So it's like really uneven and messy right now.
Okay, no worries.
So I was hoping to just like, I guess, kind of balance it out.
Okay.
I want to keep growing it, but I just don't like the shape of it. And I kind of want it to like fall nicer and not just like kind of stick out kind of thing.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah. When you say fall nicer, what do you mean by
Like, I want to keep like the length, but I kind of want it to like fall down more as opposed to just like stick out. I have a few kind of photos, I don't know.
Yeah, let's have a little look what you're thinking, yeah. Let's have a little
This is more like a long-term goal. It's a grow up kind of long goal.
That's good. So you got a good long term, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So something like it sits closer to his face. I don't know.
Right. I honestly don't know if you'll get that.
Really, yeah.
Because your hair texture, his is very fine.
Right.
And yours is extremely thick.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether your hair, you will get drop, right, at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much drop you'll get because of you've got very curly hair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the reality of that dropping like that is probably not going to happen.
No, yeah, that's...
but I kind of know where you're going with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those haircuts, right, or those journeys you'll be on where we don't actually know what will happen. It's very hard for me to predict it, and I'll be honest, lockdown made me realise I can't predict people's hair textures and stuff, because I had clients coming in who had really short hair and they grow it out in their curly hair and I never even knew. Yeah. So it'll be something that you'll probably just have to grow it out and see what happens. But in terms of shape, we can definitely help shape it up.
Yeah, cool.
The only downside, which I'm hoping is not there, but I can kind of see a few things at the moment, is that where you've cut it yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, as a barber, we have to make it look matching, right?
Yeah.
We can't leave bits, unless it's purposely in there. We can't just leave random bits left long and short and stuff, you know what I mean?
That
So
makes sense.
that's the only thing is if you have cut it yourself, it can sometimes take you back a little bit, but maybe not too much. I don't know yet. We'll have a little look. But in terms of the long-term goal, what you might have to start looking at other hairstyles. Like more that match your hair texture. Because I know you can pull it out. You can pull your curls out, right? And as you see, it's very long.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Extremely different in length.
Yeah.
From the top to the sides, right? So you're at that point now where you kind of need what you class as a maintenance hairstyle.
Yeah.
Something that's going to give you a bit more longevity to your growing out phase, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether this would sit flatter. I think there obviously are treatments you could get done, you know? In terms of like me making your hair sit flatter, that's something that's kind of probably out my remit in terms of what I can do. I remove hair, right? That's kind of what the summary of my job. Yeah. Whereas you can get treatments done by sort of technicians who could soften your hair, maybe a bit like the opposite of a perm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically, if I got something done, I'd get it done to look like you. Where you probably get it done look more like mine, right? You know what I mean? So, but there are treatments you can get done, which we can point you in the right direction and stuff like that off camera and stuff if you want as well. So
no, honestly, I'm fine. I kind of like what you said. Like, I want to keep it natural. Yeah. But just something that's easier to maintain, I guess, because this is just like, I look ridiculous right now. Like,
especially when you pull it out.
Yeah,
it's very sideshow bob, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's huge, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, what we really need to do now is, first of all, what we need to do is to tie your hands together and stop you from cutting your own hair. That's one thing we need to do.
Yeah.
But no, essentially what we need to do is take the top down to match.
Yeah.
So I think you've got enough length on the back and sides that I can remove length off the top.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can start to create a slightly different shape as well. So I think we need to start creating a slightly more diamond, like more round, more diamond shape. You've got a very, very chisel face, very angular face, so we can get away with a bit of a softer top.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think when you've got the curls, you want a slightly rounder finish because you've got such a sharp jawline. Like you don't need too much squareness going on, right?
Yeah.
And especially with curls, when it's cut very square, it almost just sits like a building.
Yeah.
Very, very square. It almost shows off every single cut you do when you're doing curly hair. So you have to be kind of quite careful how you do it.
Yeah.
So I think what we're best doing is we'll work through the top first.
Yeah.
Did you only cut the back and sides? Because I can't seem to notice anything different through the top. I don't know if it's just because it's dead long.
I actually tried to like take some weight out where I pulled it up and I like kind of cut in closer to the root.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only did it because it was like literally so hot.
Yeah, no, I get it. Honestly, I get it, mate. I get it. Look, anything to keep you growing it, right? I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, I can see where you've done that. And my only worry is that there's quite a lot of difference. But I reckon we might be able to disguise it.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right. I think you haven't took enough off that is kind of really noticeable. So
no,
I think you'll be all right.
Kind of, I guess, reset it a bit.
Yeah.
I just kind of like keeping, if there's like at least a fringe for now.
Oh yeah,
definitely. It's not
yeah.
like aggressively short on the back and sides. Like I'm fine.
No, definitely. So essentially, when you're growing your hair out, right, the best way to look at it is that you need to keep what you call the perimeter the same length. Now the perimeter is just what we call the hairline, right?
Yeah.
So these bits around here, and again the fringe, right? Just anything that kind of frames the head, right?
Yeah.
We need to keep all that length in there because that's the thing that will make it look longer.
Yeah.
We can take some length off the top, and you can kind of see where it needs to be taken off because you can almost see the disconnection, right? Where the top is a lot longer through here, right? So all we need to do is basically take probably about maybe, I don't know, a couple of, maybe about that much off the top, roughly, and that will be totally fine. Like that will completely change the shape of your haircut, you know.
Yeah.
But it will maintain everything. I don't actually even want to touch the back and sides in terms of remove an actual noticeable length. All I want to do is break it up.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you a bit of a break up through the back and sides. That is going to allow the texture to fall.
Yeah.
I want the curl to be broken up a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I want to do. But we will have to take some off, and it will look, just because of the way when it's cut, and it'll be retextured and stuff like that, it will look shorter. Only because the curls will spiral and be tighter. That's the only reason why. If you pulled it out, obviously it will be shorter in elements, but the majority of the length will still be the same.
All right, that sounds perfect.
But it will look and feel a bit shorter today, but the length will still be there.
That's fine. It's more the long-term thing.
Long term. I think changing the shape now will help you grow it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, that's probably more your maybe
I do
a little
like
bit lighter.
that.
Yeah. Maybe yours might be a bit tighter than that. But again, once it's cut and textured, you might be able to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Al, I think it's Al.
Oh yeah, I know him.
This guy, that's your hair.
True, yeah.
Al Booker. I think he was on like Love Island. I think,
I know. I remember seeing him.
But that's what you need to be looking at, really.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, he is probably the perfect example of what you could do. But again, the shape that I want to cut in is kind of like, that's a slightly more square shape. I feel like maybe at the moment, I think your face might be a bit thinner for that. I think you need a slightly more rounded finish. But he is a really good one just to save a load of photos like that. Again, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Them kind of shapes is what I think you should be going for.
Yeah.
So I think maybe look at him for a bit of a kind of short-term, maybe potential long-term goal as well.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's get this washed, okay?
Yeah,
we'll go from there. All right, man. Right, guys, so just shampooed and conditioned Sam's hair. Now I'm going to start back and sides first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the back and sides. So again, we want to try and maintain all the length, right? The whole point of what Sam is doing right now is Sam's here to get his hair in some sort of shape, okay? So what I need to do is thin the hair out, because I know that's one thing you were saying, like he tried to do himself because it was so thick and he was so hot. So what we need to do is essentially thin out his hair for him, right? Now the way to do that is, the technique you used yourself was actually quite a good technique, to be fair. I'm not condoning cutting your own hair, by the way. Okay? Leave it to the professionals, right? But what you did was not a bad technique to do, right? The technique that I do, I don't think you'd be able to do yourself, and I wouldn't risk it, all right? But what I'm going to do is do very wide sections on the back and sides, over direct everything into the middle, cut the middle bit shorter throughout, so probably about 8 sections throughout the back and sides, go shorter in elements, and keep the rest of the length there. What I'll do is thin bits of the hair out, so it'll take bits shorter, but it'll add like a sort of shape to it, and it'll also help to thin the hair out at the same time as well. So I'm going to start with my horseshoe section, so working from the recession point on the right hand side, just around to the other side, like so, just bang on the round of the head. But that is where you separate the top to the back and sides, and that's where you create symmetry and balance as well for the head shape and the face shape. Now your hair is quite dry, Sam. So what are you doing at the moment to kind of look after it? Because obviously we've just shampoo, conditioned it, and it's still drying out quite quickly. So water retention is always a good way to see if the hair is healthy, right? If it retains the water. Yours is at the end especially, right? So what are you doing at the moment to kind of like look after your hair?
Well, I only shampoo about once a week.
Okay.
Kind of just whenever my hair feels like it needs it.
Yeah.
And I try and condition like as much as I can.
Okay.
And then I'm just using like a curl cream.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what else I can do to help like retain water. Cause
Yeah. I can give you some advice on that.
Yeah.
So I would say the best thing to do is not to be conditioning your hair too often.
Right.
So I would only condition your hair when you're shampooing.
Okay, right.
Okay, because you need your natural oils to get into your hair as well. Now, when you're synthetically replacing that with a conditioner, it sometimes doesn't always allow your natural oils to come into play.
Yeah,
so if you just shampoo and condition your hair on the same day, then leave your hair, just wet it if you need to. Do you know if you wake up in the morning, it's massive, right?
Yeah,
just wet it with a bit of water and then apply the aftercare. So if you think of curl creams and hair moisturizers and things like that, they're all aftercare.
Right.
So the conditioner is to be used at the sort of shower time at the basin, right?
Yeah.
All the other stuff is aftercare, so it's all after the shower,
no,
right?
That makes sense.
So use all that on the day-to-day basis, okay? Like leave-in conditioners, things like that. Okay, they're just a bit milder, they're not as heavy, and that's probably what I would recommend. So just give that a go for a month or so, right? And see how you get on with that, okay?
No, I've tried like so many leave-in conditioners and stuff. To be honest, I don't know.
Have you just not found one that works?
No, not really. I've got a curl cream I got like last week and it.
Okay.
And especially like wind and everything, just
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Maybe just trying to find something that, I mean, to be honest, once the hair's cut right, honestly, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah.
I'm going to frame the face a touch as well, just through here.
Yeah.
Just to help with the fringe, okay? Because if we're going to take the top down, I want it to kind of balance. So I'm just going to cut this in to match around the eyebrows there, like so. So pull them down and let that fall, because as that dries up as well, that'll spring up, but that should just frame the face when we come to cut the fringe in a bit. So I've done 2 sections already. I'm just starting to break up the curls like that. So I'm giving them a bit more shape. Now, if you look at the other side, because obviously it's all just long lengths and obviously bits where maybe it's just dry or where maybe Sam's had a go himself, there's nothing going on. Do you see what I mean? When you do this, there's nothing going on. But you see, just by doing 2 sections there, the difference in the way the curls fire up and everything like that, they move back a bit more. So it's a good technique. It's a really good technique. When you're growing your hair out, that's what we're trying to do. Just keeping very wide sections. So probably going to do maybe, I said 8 before, it's probably more like 10. So probably 5 around one side, 5 around the other. You just pull from the previous section in to the middle and just find the guide. There we go. And then cut. So don't worry what length's coming off, right? Don't forget. We're maintaining all that length down the bottom. See, the perimeter is not even being cut. See? So now I was bang on actually 8. Yeah, 8. Because this one in the middle isn't really classed. I wouldn't class this as a separate section. So probably like 4 one side, 4 the other. So yeah, I was right at the start. Never second guess myself, should I, Sam? Hey, what's going on?
No, that's number 1 rule in life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or maybe second guess yourself at certain situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
like if I'm cutting my own hair.
That'll be a good time to second guess. Yeah, definitely.
I wish I did.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Listen, at the end of the day, it's only hair grows back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the main thing. But obviously, it's more about the only concern that I have is obviously when you're coming in to get something new, it just scuppers us a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it is.
No, I knew it would make it a bit harder for you, and I felt bad, but
no, it's all good, man. Honestly, I've seen worse. The way I look at it now is that I think when anyone does something to their own hair, I always know I've definitely come across worse.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's all good. This is, you'd barely even notice you cut your own. I mean, to the untrained eye, you'd never know.
Yeah.
To my trained eye, I could see pretty much when you sat down and you mentioned cutting it yourself.
Yeah.
I wondered why there's a little bit flicking out on its own before. So, but don't worry, man. Don't worry. It's all sorted. So.
Yeah, I kind of got away with it just because like my hair's naturally messy anyway.
You got away with it because you've got curly hair.
Yeah.
If you do anything in mine, you just see a big line. So yeah, you're lucky that you've got the texture of hair you've got. No, see, there's some benefits to having curly hair. You know?
There is.
There really is. So have you always had? I know this might sound like I don't mean this to sound like a dumb question, but have you always had the curls you've got, or did you have very, very short hair, not realise you had the curls?
Well, when I was a kid, like it was probably up until I was like 12, 13, my hair was like platinum blonde and like straight.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess hit puberty, it got darker.
Yeah.
But I always just had it kind of short.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I guess I was 18, 19. And I was shampooing like every day and not conditioning. So my hair was just like super dry.
And you said you're living in Australia, right?
Yeah,
So are you over here on holiday, or you're living here?
Yeah, pretty much. I came here just like a working holiday for a bit.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Not sure how long I'm here for.
Nice. Okay. So have you noticed a difference like in the water while you've been living in the UK?
Yeah, I heard about hard water.
Yeah.
I bought like a clarifying shampoo.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this is something that is never really touched upon, but like if you do travel like yourself, or you go to live in a different country, for example, no one ever really talks about the condition of the water that you're washing your hair in. Now we generally do have hard water in the UK, where it depends on. It can sometimes depend really on your hair type what works better, whether it's soft or hard water.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know whether maybe the hard water is not doing you any favours potentially. So if you more than getting a clarifying shampoo, get an attachment for your shower.
Yeah.
That will get rid of all the calcium and everything out of it as well. You know what I mean? That'll kind of filter it.
Yeah, I looked at it, but we're still looking for a flat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm in like an Airbnb at the moment.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
But
sure.
definitely, because I noticed I had a long flat here and I was like soaking in the shower.
Yeah.
And I got in the shower, like shampooed, and my hair just felt like still like really sticky and like.
Yeah.
So.
That's, well, if you can, depending on, I mean, most of it is hard water, so I would probably just get yourself a filter anyway.
Yeah.
You can buy them on Amazon, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely worth getting. So I'm just taking the middle bit down at the back now, just on the neck, because towards the nape, pretty much everybody's hair grows longer down the middle and the sides are a bit weaker. So we want to fill them corners out a little bit, right? So as you can see, there's always a big gap right behind the ear, right? So we want to try and leave all that length. Unfortunately, that's one of the bits that Sam cut into, but that's fine because they'll grow out. That's not a problem. But we just want to try and match everything up. So all the little bits that are a bit long and whatnot, we just need to kind of get rid of because they're going to snap off at the end anyway, because they're so isolated and they are obviously quite dry. They will just end up snapping off. So let's just cut the perimeter. So we're keeping the majority of the length that is there, but we're just taking bits down just to help you grow it a bit more as well. All right.
No, do whatever you have to do.
No worries,
you're the
mate.
Professional, so.
Famous last words, you know, mate. Famous last words.
No, I can't get any worse than what it is, so it's chill.
No, don't worry about them, man. They'll grow back quite quickly. I mean, again, you know, we've just been saying there, your hair disguises a lot of things anyway.
It does,
so
yeah.
Don't worry too much about that.
And it grows like insanely quickly as well. So.
Do you find that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's the back and sides. They're done. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Literally, that is all you need to do on the back and sides. You don't need to do more. Sometimes I think you want to overdo it, right? You know, but we actually want to do less, especially on the back and sides.
Yeah.
So the top is where we change the shape around. Okay. So I'm going to take a profile section. So I set that as a section either side of the middle. Okay. Now we're taking a bit of length off, but I'm going to use a 2-finger width section down the middle. Okay. So 2 fingers right down the middle, because we still want to maintain length. So if I did 1 finger, we'd take quite a lot of length off. It'd go quite short, whereas 2 fingers is perfect, because we use 3 fingers around the back and sides. So I don't want to take too much off, too much of a difference. Right, so start from the front, like so. I'm going to follow the shape of the head. So we do need to take a bit off to match. So we are going to keep a fringe, obviously, so as you can see it's going to fall nicely. Going to keep a fringe, but I just want to see what length it gets dry. And just at the very end there, so you see where it breaks off there? That's what we need to take away. I think that'll help a lot. Now you'll see in a minute as well, the difference of how the ends of your hair looks once it's got that nice blunt finish to it is so much better. Like the way the curl drops, right? Like that, right? So the ends are a lot healthier looking now, you see, compared to what they were like before, okay? Now again, this is half the battle. You just want to make sure your hair looks healthy as well. That's one of the main things. So again, regular cutting, and I don't mean like regular every 6 weeks, I mean like every 3 months or so, is always a good thing to do as well. So you can just grow it out, but with your hair texture, again, you have to base it on the individual hair texture. I think with your hair texture, it's always best getting it trimmed regularly, you know. The difference in the texture and the difference in the strength of, say, my hair to Sam's hair, right? If I can give you 2 objects, like everyday objects to compare it to, mine would be like a steel pipe in terms of strength, be like a silk ribbon. I can rub mine with a towel, go crazy on it. It doesn't go dry, it doesn't go split endy, it doesn't do anything. It just falls exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Yours, if you did that with a towel, just frizz and it break and everything like that.
Yeah.
Right? So to compare the two, that's probably the best way I can describe it to anyone watching, is when you've got straighter hair like mine and thicker hair, is the 2 objects you compare it to. Mine is almost like a steel pipe in terms of like durability and everything else, just like a silk or satin ribbon. That's the best way to describe it. So you need to take a lot more care when you are doing it. So head, set it down for me. I'll pull this out. I'm just going to try and match that up to the back. There we go. And this will just help it grow in a bit more balance. Just a little point off there. I'm going to use this as my section to start the sides. Now what I'm going to do, take this 2 fingers again from the front to the recession. I'm going to cut on this angle. I'm going to start to match up to the side. So we've got a guide there from the left, a guide from the right underneath. Take this off. So this is going to start to create that slightly more rounder, slightly more diamond shape as well. So Sam, are you using a hairdryer at the moment, mate?
No, I don't.
No, okay. Well, I'm glad you said that because I was dreading it if you were going to say yes.
No, my hair, like any heat, it just like hates it.
Explodes, yeah. Okay, cool. Now the thing is, right, with Sam's hair, I would probably have cried if you'd have used a hairdryer.
Yeah.
Because it, again, with the ends being so dry, and obviously the where it's been cut and whatever else, where it's been thinned out a lot, it would just frizz like crazy. So the best bit of advice I can give you, or anybody watching who's got hair like Sam's, is just to stay away from heat. Really, please stay away from heat, because you're only going to, you can use as many products as you like. You can use as many oils, as many leave-in conditioners, heat defense sprays, you name it. But any prolonged heat on your hair is not going to be very good. So the best advice I can give is just let it just naturally air dry. And I know it's not great. I know it's not great in the winter. I mean, welcome to the UK winter, Sam.
Yeah.
It's rained every day for about 3 months, but welcome. And I know it isn't perfect because it's cold and everything else, but you're in the growing phase, mate. Pop a hat on.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing pretty much.
Yeah, perfect. Best thing to do.
But no, it's been quite a change because I've gone from Australia in summer where it was just like insanely hot to here. So I think my hair's not liking like just all the different climates and like.
Of course it's not, mate. No,
that's going on. Yeah.
It's probably screaming at you, going, "What the hell are you doing to me?" Yeah,
it is.
So now what we do, we take our section from before, the one that was the other side of the centre, like so, and we use this as our guide for the left-hand side. Now I'm going to start from the back at our crown and work forwards. So this is how simple. This is literally all we're going to cut your hair like today.
Yeah,
and we're going to put a razor through. We're not going to do anything else. The pattern of the sections is the thing that's creating the shape and the style and the structure to your hair. Okay. So coming from the back, take a section, we go straight on, like so. See, a little bit there. Another section, come round. Okay, we're just behind the ear. We'll bring it straight again. Now when we get to the section on the ear, this is where the angle changes. Again, 2-finger width section, bring it from the back. So we take our section, and we have the same angle as before. So we're using it just above the round of the head. Like so. So we're looking for our guide from the left-hand side, and we're looking for our guide underneath as well. Pull this out. There we go. Bang on there, like that. That's the angle we need. Now I've got my guides, so I'm following my guide. So I know whatever I'm doing right now is going to work, regardless how much length comes off. Even if you can hear more hair coming through, you hear the scissor sound being a lot more aggressive and whatever else. I know that I'm following the right path. If I've got my guides, I know I'm doing the right thing. So remember, don't get phased out by that. Don't get worried about how much length's coming off or whatever. As long as you're following your guide, you'll be fine. That long bit there, I don't know where that came from. We didn't need it anyway.
That would have been me, I bet.
That could have been you. Yeah, we didn't need that bit. All this bit here, we don't need either, you know. Just remember, same angles, like so. There's the guides. Put this up. You see, look at the varying of lengths coming through here. We're not doing anything wrong. We're doing the right thing, okay? We're definitely doing the right thing here.
Yeah, that's my bad.
No, I don't know if it is. I think it might just be the previous haircut as well. That could have been it as well.
Yeah, the last haircut I did get, it was very like mullety.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That would kind of make sense.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. Now what we're going to do is pull it down from the front. So I'm not going to section the fringe off because this is going to fall as it does, right? But you can start to see the shapes much better. Now I'm going to cut this fringe about there, okay, where our previous guide was. So when we pulled out, we've done our profile section, there's my guide. I'm going to cut to that. Because don't forget, this is going to spring up like nobody's business, and that's what we want to do anyway. So we're still keeping the fringe in. So we're still keeping it, obviously it's still going to be top heavy, has to be top heavy. Can't match it to the back and side yet. So I'm not going to take the fringe to as though we were matching the back and sides, because that would be way too short then. I'm just going to bring this straight across the eyebrows, like so. So as this springs up, watch, sits there, about right. So it curls on the eyebrow. We'll start to match it into the sides a bit more as well, so it frames the face a touch. Only a touch. Yeah, that's fine. Right, run my fingers through this now. What you're going to find is you've got a much better shape in this. So again, like I said, it's going to feel shorter, it's going to look shorter, but all that length around the back and sides is basically what you came in with. Yeah. The shape is going to be much better, right? So I'm going to do your side bends for you first. Trim them down a little bit for you. Just don't want to keep the same shape, just a little bit tidier. Do you like the length of it?
No, I normally shave them myself. I thought I'd just leave them.
Okay,
see what you think would be best.
Well, sideburns are a shadow, right? They're kind of shadow to the face shape, right?
Yeah.
So I think for you've got such a strong cheekbone here. I would probably cut them just bang on the cheekbones.
Yeah.
All right, because then that'll just draw the eye.
Right, yeah. I normally do it like around there, about halfway up, yeah.
So use the comb. There we go. And take the rest away. Frame that a little bit around the ear. And just shape it, and then just a bit of freehand on there as well. So watch with this. Best way to do it. Comb on the cheekbone, work it round. So back here, just going to do a little bit of the neck here, just to make it look a bit tidier. And curls look a bit tidy down the bottom as well. But again, not cutting into the hairline, just getting rid of all that neck hair. On the bottom there. Like so. When it comes to finishing products, okay, so this is all it is at the moment, it's just a finishing product, okay, just to bring them curls out.
Yeah.
Make them sit a little bit fuller and a little bit heavier, right, okay? Again, we're not styling this, we're finishing it off.
Yeah.
The style is done, okay? The style is just you having curly hair and in a good shape.
Yeah, yeah.
I do 2 or 3 pumps, and I just work it into the hair, like so, okay? And we just scrunch it in, okay? Now whatever you got left on your hands, just work it through, like so, and just scrunch them bits in, and let that fall. Now honestly, Sam, this is all I want you to do, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need to do anything else.
Okay.
Just scrunch it in, leave it to dry, don't put any heat on it or anything like that. If you're gonna put heat, if you're going out, the tiniest thing I want you to do, the only thing I think you would get away with in terms of heat if you wanted it, right, is just doing this. If it's a needs must situation,
yeah,
get your diffuser on your hairdryer and just arm's length, just hold it.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and just dry it off a tiny bit if you want to. If you see it's not moving,
Yeah.
just do that if you really need to.
Yeah, yeah.
From as far away as you possibly can so you can still feel it. Okay,
Yeah.
if you need to dry it off. But again, if I was you, mate, I would literally just leave it to dry.
Yeah.
Because we need to get this back to something.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right? And the least amount of heat, the better for your hair right now.
Yeah.
Okay? And we can just start to just pinch it, and then it starts to fall. All right. And as that dries out, you'll see the shape. You can already see the shape that it's in, but it becomes more apparent when it's dry.
Yeah,
all right?
for sure.
But obviously, we don't have the luxury of time to let your hair dry naturally
No.
in the studio. But take my word for it, it'll look nice. Okay?
Yeah, cool.
But that's essentially what you need.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's just to have that separation of curl, have a little bit more balance. If you think about when you came in, it was huge on the top, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
So
crazy.
we did tweak it enough to think for it to fall nicely, I think as well. So that's all we need to do, just to have that little bit of tweak. And see these little curls here. This is what I hope you get.
Yeah.
When it gets longer. I think the sides will get there as well. I think we just need to grow them out a lot more. But I think definitely they're the curls that we want to see through the whole head of hair.
No, I grew my hair out like super long a few years ago, and it did look kind of like that.
Did it?
The sides, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want these little bits here to have the same fall, like the same kind of curl, the same fall as everywhere else will.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm sure it will do. We just need to grow the thickness back, get rid of all that thinned out bit that you've done.
Yeah.
And get that back into shape.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sam. Cheers, buddy.